When I was a kid, I remember my brothers and I finding in our attic this old hi-fi stereo system. So there was a record player, an 8-track player, a receiver of some sort, and some floor-standing passive speakers. This was almost 30 years ago, so the details are a little fuzzy. But what I do remember is sitting in our family room listening to Styx on 8-track and Kansas on vinyl, among others. And that's where I fell in love with a lot of the music from that era. And music has always been a big aspect of my life. And here I am, week by week, talking about smart home devices and hubs. And I recently came across a different kind of hub, an audio hub. A device that brings the most common audio sources into one place, even that old system from my parents' attic, right next to my TV and Spotify. This is the Arylic LP100.
I'm Patrick Hunt, and I want you to like smart home tech as much as I do. Real solutions with Matter, Apple Home, and a little creativity. Weekly, I'll show you how small upgrades can make a big difference. Welcome.
This video almost became a story of what ifs, because that old system is long gone, I'm sure. And I do have a turntable, but it's been connected to powered speakers, which are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And I've used the AirPlay in the past for AirPlay, and the Arylic LP10 for more advanced streaming capabilities like AirPlay 2 and Spotify Connect. And my TV has a soundbar connected to it, which is powered. Why does any of that matter? The LP100 is a hub that you stick between your source devices, like your phone, TV, record player, cassette player, seems to be making a comeback somehow, or a flash drive. And then on the other side, a hi-fi receiver and passive speakers. You could also use powered speakers, but essentially you need something with an amp. The LP100 is a preamp. Once all these sources are connected, then this is now the device that you use to flip from one source to the next using the app, the remote, or the knob on the front, allowing your vintage speakers to now stream Spotify or continue playing the old vinyl that they've been hearing for 50 years. Looking at the back, you've got phono in for that turntable, line in for the cassette player or 8-track player maybe, HDMI for your TV, and this does support CEC and it's eARC, optical or coax in for other variations, and then line out or optical out to receiver or powered speakers. In terms of wireless sources, it supports AirPlay 2, Spotify Connect, and Tidal Connect. For wireless output, this was an interesting feature for me. It's not a terribly uncommon feature, but this one device being the brain for all of this is what really sold me. It supports Bluetooth 5.4, so I could take one of those analog inputs, which the LP100 digitizes, and output that digital signal via Bluetooth to another speaker in the house. So previously, my record listening was limited to the hardwired speakers in the living room, but lately, I've been listening to my records via Sonos speaker in the kitchen. And this is cool too, because it could be a stereo pair of Sonos speakers. It could also just be a pair of Bluetooth headphones. Either way, only one Bluetooth signal at a time can be connected. So it's not like you can send this out to a dozen Bluetooth speakers in your house. I am fully aware that audiophiles hate everything that I just said. Will the person who collects vinyl actually use a feature that digitizes their analog signal and stream it wirelessly? Maybe not, but a casual collector who appreciates convenience in their music listening might. Honestly, how are you all skipping songs? Are you really listening to The Wall in its entirety every single time? Or do you have to get up and walk over to the record player when you want to jump from Hey You to Comfortably Numb? I don't know. I always end up just jumping over to Spotify because it's easier. I can't be the only one, right? But it's great because I can just change the input source to Spotify and then boom, one of the best guitar solos ever written. Digital, compressed, like a cold, sterile hug. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to win back the audiophiles who I lost. Anyway, all the sources are digital at one point when passing through this device to create a unified experience across the board for source switching app or remote volume control, and that Bluetooth output. For most people, this means very little. This thing is well-rounded, and that's the appeal. The app is not terribly intuitive, and it's extremely finicky. It's very sensitive to mesh Wi-Fi band steering, so your phone may not find the device on your network. This only affects the app. It does not affect AirPlay playback, and that includes multi-room playback. It does not affect Spotify Connect playback or other wireless sources. This is okay because it'll change source inputs automatically when it receives a live signal. But I spent far too much time trying to get the app to discover the LP100 consistently enough to actually use the app regularly. So I defaulted to using the Spotify Connect interface or using the knob on the front for the phono input. The physical interface could be a little more intuitive. Yes, the LED bar is blue for Bluetooth, but there are two shades of green, and one of them is the phono input and the other I'm not using. Half the bar turns blue when paired with a Bluetooth speaker, which, okay, I did think was clever. But pairing the Sonos speaker wasn't exactly easy either. There's a button that says click to pair, and then you have to put your speaker in pairing mode. And then just kind of hope that it finds it. There isn't a list that comes up for you to pick a speaker from. And then later, if you want to reconnect, you have to go through the pairing process again. So it's not exactly simple. Lastly, the price. It's got a few more features than its closest competitor, the WiiM Ultra, like AirPlay 2 and eARC. And I was surprised to find that this is $400. And for me, it's a tough sell at that price point. But then I found that the WiiM Ultra is just $70 cheaper. So they're both pretty expensive. And the conclusion that I came to is that the person who's buying this device knows exactly why they are specifically buying this device before they buy it. Because you could get something like the LP10, which is strictly an audio streamer for all those wireless sources, no physical media, for significantly less. Or you could get the A100, which is similar to the LP100, but it includes an amp, meaning you could connect those passive speakers right to this device, no external amp or powered speakers required. So like I said, these are all just very specific differences, that LP10 probably having that broader market and something like the LP100 fitting more of a niche use. So the person who this device is for, and I'll probably make good use of our friend AI here to show you, is someone who has an entertainment center right in the middle of their living room. Maybe it's a big media cabinet with their TV front and center. And below it is an old vintage hi-fi stereo system. So a receiver, a record player, and some passive floor standing speakers. And maybe surrounding it is their vinyl collection. And that person says, you know, from vinyl to Spotify to TV, I want all of my entertainment audio to come out of my favorite speakers in the house. And so they buy this device and they throw it into the mix and they entertain however they want. Did I just read you my ChatGPT prompt? Oh yeah, I got a discount code for you. Use PH10 at checkout for 10% off the Arylic LP100. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next week.